Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Conan Exiles update video. I've been covering Conan Exiles since the very first day it launched on PC way back when. I've shown you guys how it runs on Xbox, I've shown you how it ran on the PS4 when it first launched, and now it's massively popular because it's free to play on the PS Plus. I'm going to carry on giving you as much content as possible. I always give you up-to-date information on stuff that's important and try and give you as much as I can in one go. Today we're going to be taking a look at what's coming in Conan Exiles. In fact, we're going to get a lot more information starting tomorrow. The Conan Exile devs are going to be live streaming the brand new dungeon that they're going to be revealing. This is the latest screenshot from about 3 they've shown so far on Twitter this week, basically giving hints and teasing us with what's to come. But what else is there to come in Conan Exiles? If you're brand new, this is going to sort you out and tell you exactly what their plans are going forward, and clear up any confusion you might have about whether or not you'll ever be able to ride any creatures, what new DLC might ever come to the game, and a bunch of other stuff. So make sure you like this video and keep showing the support if you enjoy my content. Just really appreciate all the subs that have come on board, all the likes and all the views. Thank you so much. Now let's crack on. So, a little bit of maintenance. There is a Conan Exiles patch running right now on PC. It's going to be rolling out on the PS4 later on this afternoon, and it should be out on Xbox too. This one's just a little hotfix. Chests should now retain their lock status after restarting the server session. And the biggest one of all that I've seen so much in the comment section, people complaining that their bases don't say they're owned by them. There should no longer be a no owner display message for buildings. So don't panic, don't worry too much if that's still showing, that should be fixed today. The Conan devs have literally just posted this post and we're going to go through it together. Basically, PS4 hasn't had enough servers. I mean, you really think they would have maybe put some new servers out anticipating so many people will be trying it out. But this is what they're doing to combat that at the moment. They're going to be increasing the decay time on PS4 to 14 days to make sure players who can't log into their servers due to them being full don't lose their buildings. This will be live with server restarts after a small hotfix today. They're increasing the server capacity for South American PS4 servers, and they're increasing capacity for Oceania PS4 servers. For other territories, they're going to monitor server load and evaluate if they need to increase capacity. I should think so. I've seen so many comments from you guys saying you can't even get into your original servers you've been playing for months. So hopefully they do add more servers. They are ran by G Portal. Fingers crossed that gets fixed. The post goes on to say that the last month they've just been focusing on bug fixing and making sure the core game Conan Exiles runs correctly. And that's true. They've had a series of updates really just fixing a lot of broken stuff. They've improved the purge system, AI, fraud, pets, building and game loops such as leveling curve, gear and things to do after you hit the cap. They've redone the unnamed city, they've made it more sort of rewarding if you go in there and you're trying to get loot. And they've added brand new world bosses too. Also they've added more mini ones that run around. And basically that's how you increase your feat points. Once you get to level 60 you can carry on unlocking stuff without having to use a yellow potion all the time, as long as you keep defeating some of these mini bosses that spawn. Although I think that is only in the unnamed city. So on top of all that, we know they're working on new content. These are the basic series of pictures that they've been teasing on Twitter since last week. An underwater dungeon and brand new creatures. As far as I'm aware, there are no sharks in the game currently. It looks like they're going to be adding this to the PC Test Live servers, so I am going to show you a preview of everything that's brand new on some of these Test Live servers, and we'll get more information about this when they do a live stream tomorrow highlighting and showcasing all the brand new stuff that's coming in. I will give you a roundup of everything that gets said in that live stream. And it's only a small line, but they've said they also have PvP and the siege system in RI, so don't fret PvP players. So I guess we'll get a lot more information tomorrow, but that is just general heads up on what they've been working on. It does look pretty exciting. I love the look at this creature. Obviously this is just like a make-believe creature. I don't think this is necessarily going to be running around swimming. It does look like it's been sort of put there or hunted down by maybe these smaller ones. But a new dungeon is only part of what they're meant to be offering in the near future. So what is exactly coming and what's happening with Conan Exiles? Well, look at this post from October. This basically puts out a little bit of information about magic. If you realise the corruption system isn't necessarily that useful at the moment. You gain corruption, you can cleanse the corruption, but that's all it does. It was meant to be a sorcery option. The idea being the more corruption you gained, you would become weaker over time, but you would also gain powerful spells and be able to cast magic. But in October of last year, this was the last real news and information we had about it, saying that, to put it bluntly, magic is still up in the air. Right now our current focus is finishing and releasing the 3 remaining dungeons that were on our roadmap. Sorcery is very early and we don't even know what it might look like or if it will be implemented at this point. Magic and sorcery may come one day, but it's not a guarantee. Also around that time, the actual creator of Conan Exiles done an interview with Firespark, who does absolute bundles of Conan Exiles content, all PC though, but definitely still worth checking out. You can go and check him out for this interview with Joel Bylos, the creator. Someone on Reddit did manage to make a summary of what was said in that interview. You may have seen some pictures, you may have even seen some videos from me that are well old talking about mounts coming to the game. During the early access period, the devs said they were going to be adding mounts, and they said it was going to be something they'd be looking at. They had lots of concept art for horses as well as the camels with saddles on them, and it was pretty much assumed it would arrive. They did hit problems. According to the interview, Joel really wanted mounts. He made this very clear. He talked about that if they can reach a happy development stage with mounts, that in order to get around the falling through the map issue on low-end PCs, potentially consoles, is why the mounts were canned to begin with. They said that one fix for it would be able to put a cap on the creatures and how fast they move so that the rest of the world does load in. Now it says here talking about high-end PCs having the full mount system where low-end ones and consoles might have the cap on the speed more. But basically, if you've ever been a Minecraft player, you know how Minecraft works with chunks. You run around the land and sometimes if you're too quick, the land in front of you just doesn't load. It's exactly the same for Conan Exiles, and you'll probably notice it on the Ps4 at the moment. If you run around maybe putting some points in speed, and you simply just arrive somewhere, it takes a few moments for creatures to sometimes spawn, or some of the trees or some of the landscape. Adding pets to the equation would mean that would be a big problem. But as I said, and I think Joel agrees here a long time ago, that putting a cap on them wouldn't be a terrible idea, even if mounts were really just better ways to transport your items. A camel or a horse doesn't necessarily have to go as fast as a human, or maybe only a tiny bit faster. But if it had loads of weight on it, so we could put loads of stuff on it to carry between bases, that would be a pretty good use. Not to mention also having mounted combat. Again, that wouldn't have to be very fast, it would just be a case of actually fighting each other while sitting on horses. That one's looking a little bit more hopeful, but again, this was 7 months ago. They have kind of ruled out DLC being anything other than skins. You should know by now, all the new players, that you can buy these individual packs of skins that basically change how your characters look, but they technically give you better or different options. Now, I've had this argument for a long time, but I know for a fact that some of the items in these cosmetic packs actually have some better bonuses than what's currently in the game. Many people have tried correcting me and saying that it's just the same stuff or it's got the same power level as what's already in the game. But if you go looking at Reddit and during the forums, you will find plenty of evidence that says some of these packs do contain items that are better than what you can find in the game. Anyway, not the point of the video, but they're there. They basically give you more choice in weapons, armors and build pieces. And so they're pretty popular, they changed the way the game looks and a lot of people have been buying them. And if they really just restrict it just to that, maybe that's a good idea. And just keep adding free content like brand new dungeons, I think that's a really good idea. I'd rather that than do what Ark do and add a brand new map with brand new creatures, charge stupid amounts of money for it and it's always broke. There's a lot more obviously to cover, but the long and short of it is they did say they're also going to be adding new dungeons. Now in this Reddit post it does say that sorcery is coming out next after the pets feature. And maybe that is the situation, but for now I'd still go by what was said in October. So we've had Jabal's Sag dungeon and this looks like it's going to be the next one. If I'm right, if I remember correctly covering the news at the time, we've got another 2 dungeons to become after this. Now we don't know for sure that it won't necessarily just be 3 dungeons all underwater, and that's what they mean by the new dungeons coming out. But I'm pretty sure they said 4 dungeons total would come to the game. And so we've had the Jabal Sag one, the Midnight Grove. This will be the underwater one, so hopefully there's going to be 2 more coming in the next year or so. And just to finish it off, that some of the Funcom devs have been on Reddit and just explaining that development has never been kind of stopped in the game. I myself have spoken about the fact that content just wasn't really coming out that quickly and they had lots of projects on the go last year. But it looks like Funcom are concentrating a little bit more on Conan now, especially since it's obviously so popular on PS4. But Conan Exiles has been doing okay for itself on Steam. During early access there were some really low points for the games. Once they added the Cold North areas it perked up again and it did kind of sink a little bit more. But since full release it seems to have gained much more of a strong, stable player base. And I guess all the months of actually updating the game and improving it and adding new content has kept players much more there. So the future of Conan Exiles is looking pretty good. It's maybe not necessarily going to be content every single month, but every 3 to 4 months you can maybe expect to see a brand new dungeon and lots of content in between, fixing stuff and maybe smaller key little updates. Hopefully we'll see mounts and hopefully we'll see sorcery coming in next year. And judging by one of the posts earlier talking about siege, that's hopefully going to be coming soon too. They do still need to do some work on the purge system, it's still a little bit broken. And it does look like we're going to get one more cosmetic batch of DLC, the Turan DLC, coming soon too. Maybe that's tied in with the water stuff. Funcom have been making content based on Conan for a long time. They previously worked on an MMO for it and they've done various different ventures. Looking into what the Turan DLC might be, it does say here it's rising in barbaric splendour on the southwestern shores of the great inland sea Vivalet. So that to me kind of ties in with the water dungeon that's coming up, so expect to see a stealth launch of brand new DLC coming. Let's just hope that there's no items that are comparatively more powerful than what's already in the game. Remember, you heard it here first, Turan DLC. I am Jade, thank you so much for all the support guys, we've been smashing it, the views have been going through the roof. Just a reminder, I'm not a one game channel, but I do focus on survival and open world games like these on consoles. And pretty much any survival game, even if it's single player or just something a little bit different or multiplayer games, I'll always give information and cover. So go and check out all my other content if you want to be kept up to date on World War Z coming out this month, as well as some brand new games like Devil's Hunt and Remnant from the Ashes, another brand new multiplayer game coming in August. Let me know what kind of guides you want to see next and stay tuned, I have got some live streams coming Conan Exiles. If you want to come and join my private server, it's Patreon. For $1 a month, support the channel and you can come and play on my Conan Exiles servers as well as my Ark Survival Evolved servers. The links will be in the description box down below. Come and join my Discord if you just want to find people to play Conan with, and I'll see you ratbags for tomorrow's live stream, either an update or I may even stream it live myself. Until then, laters!